Well, we got the babies out today. It'd probably be hard to see them through all the wire and everything, but there they are. They're outside enjoying. Let's see if I can find my. Oh, enjoying themselves, running around, being outside. It's right now it's about 70. Oops. I'm sorry. Black flies are out. I put my peppermint in my this combined peppermint and olive oil. So I get organic peppermint, organic olive oil. Put like 20 drops. This is probably a 1 ounce bottle, like 20 drops of peppermint, and then fill the rest with the olive oil. And I just kind of put that, back of my neck or forehead or arms, things like that. It's all natural, so it's not going to hurt you. You can always, with peppermint, you can always put on a little spot and see how you react to it. But where it's diluted in the olive oil, it shouldn't be any problem. So here are the girls. They're outside. They're enjoying. I'm going to have them out for about an hour. They came out a little bit late, maybe around 3:30. It's still like 70 degrees out. And they're just hopping around, having a good time. They are... I put this orange thing up there because we have a lot of... There's aerial predators. I don't want them around. They say sometimes they don't like the color orange. So there's some girls there. Those are the 4 olive egg layers. Olive colored eggs. Be kind of cool. And there's another Rhode Island red right there. The other Rhode Island red is over here. And these 2 little guys right here. The silver Wyandottes. They're black, but they'll have silver streaks in them. So they're really doing good. So I put a little bit of that container if they want to go in to get away from the wind a little bit. I don't have to I'm not putting my sun blocker up here, or it's probably called the sun shade cloth because it's late in the afternoon, so there's not much direct sun beating on them. They can have, they can just enjoy the air and not have the sun blocker out, or the sun, I guess what do they call it, sun shade or something like that. And they get their food, so they're doing pretty good. They're having a good time. There they are. So little container if they want to go in there if they thought it was windy. They're a month old this week now. This week they are 1 month old. So they still enjoy the heat lamp, that I have in the cellar for them. And but soon they'll be able to be without it. Once they're fully feathered, they'll be able to be without it. They're doing pretty good. Maybe just one of those olive egg layers that doesn't have all its feathers yet. I wasn't too sure if that might be a rooster or not, but I think it's going to be a little girl. I had 4 that were unsexed, the white ones, and then the other 4 were sexed. I know for sure that the Rhode Island Reds and the Silver Wyandottes are girls, and I'm pretty sure all 4 of these are girls. I didn't know why that one just didn't, it was behind. They say sometimes when you're researching it, roosters can be a little bit behind when they get in their feathers and things like that. So that's why I'm not too sure if that little guy is a rooster or not. We'll have to find out. But it's getting its feathers in now, so we'll have to just wait and see. The wings look similar to the other girls, so I think it's going to be a female because the wing is not uniform all the way through. When you're spreading it out, it's not like completely uniform. We have one area that's a little longer than the others, and it's also I think it's double layered, the wings too. The feathers are like more than just one layer on them. So we'll just have to wait and see. It'll be a surprise. Hopefully it's a girl. If it's a rooster, I'm not going to keep it. I'll post something and see if someone in the neighborhood or in the town I live in is looking for a little rooster. But the little girls I'll keep, but not the guys, because they're very loud, and they can start talking real early in the morning. We don't want that. And they can be pretty rough on the girls too, so we don't want that either, because my girls all look beautiful. So let's take a walk over here. I can just leave them for a minute or two, keeping a close eye on them. So over here, let's see. Yeah, like I said, it's beautiful right now. Just, of course, it's buggy time, so you have to put some kind of spray or make something homemade or something like that. And these girls are doing good. Now there's 5 girls here, 5 girls in this house, and there's 3 down with a smaller house down there. But I'm going to combine all of these to make 8, and they're going to live in this house. I do have 7 living in this house, And way down there, the small little coop, that would be where the babies will be. And we'll see how big they get. The olive eggers, they're hybrids, so they might only live a couple years. Usually they're not as big like as this black girl over here. She is a, what is she? Oh yeah, an Australorp. She's very beautiful. And she's a big bird. All the Australorps are big. And then we have the barred rock, which is over here. It's like different colors of barred rocks. And then they, oops. So that black and white are the barred rocks, and the others black with some gold around their neck. They are black sex lynx. And the black sex lynx, I mean, those two birds there, they're pretty hefty birds. I think the black ones are hybrids, though. I could do some more research on it. I think they might be hybrids. Not too sure on that. But the ones that aren't are the barred rock, the golden Wyandottes, and the buff Orpingtons. They're not. And the Australorps are not either. Now I have one here, which is right in front of me. She's a hybrid. Her sister passed away. She was about almost 2 years old, and she's living a little bit beyond her sister. I had two of the same kind, but she's a hybrid, so they don't live too long. So just give them the best home I can. While if they're going to only live a year or two, hopefully. The other one was supposed to the amber lynx that I had, the white ones that were down in that small house down there. I had 6 originally. Now there's only 3. But the white amber lynx, last summer, they all died pretty much around the same time because they're all the same age. They were supposed to have about a 2-year expectancy, but they lived for 3, which is nice. And so they're passed away. That's why I got more chicks over here. And let's see. Then, like I said, her sister passed away right there. These are all hybrids. So. And the other ones are doing fine. They live longer. I'm not sure of their individual life expectancies, but some can live to be 6 or 7, 8, sometimes even 10 years. I mean, it really depends on, I guess, the breed and their environment and things of that sort, the food they're getting, and nutrition and the care. So that's what we're doing right now. So that should be pretty good. And I think those girls, will be okay, because the reason. So I don't want to talk when I zoom in and out because I think it cuts my voice off. But little house down there, I had 6 in there before. And these black Australorps are 3 of them, and the other 3 white ones passed away. But there were 6 always living in that little house. I'll have 8 now, depending on their size. They should be able to be okay. I think that the big thing about it is at nighttime they'll be, together. Like in the winter, they'll all be together. But in the during the day in the winter and during the day, of course, in the summer, they have the whole area of yard to live in. So I've seen other homesteaders where they might have it like a portable chicken coop, we'll say, that they move from place to place, and it doesn't look too big. And sometimes you see like 20 birds coming out of it, so they're probably jam-packed in there. But they do have a place during the day that they can relax and forage and scratch and things like that. So. That little house there has a bottom coop. That little house is probably designed to just have little chicks in there, or a bird. You can have a bird, but they would probably live there and just live downstairs. They really wouldn't get outside, so I don't use it that way. I have it so they can get in there, and there might be little. Last year too, when I had all 6 of them in there, when you check them at night, they're all kind of like huddled together in the winter. So there was plenty of room. They still had room around there. They still have plenty of room to move around, but they just seem to like to get together, kind of huddle up when it's cold out. So I think the other ones, the new ones I just have, I think they're going to be okay over there. They'll be able to huddle up during the winter time. There'll be enough body heat to keep them warm, and then they could always get outside. And then the summer, in the summer I always leave the little drawer bridge down. They have little windows, so there'll be plenty of circulation there. And I usually put the egg box up during the day, kind of air out that. And then sometimes in the summer you'll see them downstairs until it gets cooler, then they'll go upstairs. But it worked out good for me with the other ones, so I don't anticipate any problem with these here. And the other white ones, the amber lynx that passed away, they were hybrids too, but they were smaller birds. So I have all this contraption here. I put all this stuff. I just don't want them to get out. At first I put this silver, wire fence. I said, gee, they might be able to get out of there. Some of them, they might be able to squeeze through there. So just put like obstacles around the floor. Then I put a couple pieces of cardboard up, which I usually cover their little container inside the house. But I'm not going to do that anymore. I was putting the cover on top of the container to make sure the heat stayed in there, when they were just 2 weeks old, but now they're 4 weeks old. So I think they'll be all set on their own. They don't have to do that. Got a chair against there, a little board down there. So I have it's all barricaded everywhere. So they really can't sneak out. But they can get the air and have fun. So they're doing really well. They're just beautiful birds. It'd be a nice combination of the white and black, and then silver and black. The Rhode Island Reds. They'd be pretty. Should work out pretty good, right, girls? It's cute to see them running around. And then what I do at nighttime, I take a rake and I just remove all the sawdust, and then I take my garden hose and I hose all the grass, so it's nice and clean when they go back in the next day. Make sure I just hose down all the poop and things that goes right into the earth and makes it clean for the next day when they want to run around. Those white chickens, I don't think you can tell. Let me go over here. But the white chickens have feathers on their feet. They have outside feathers. Well, let's see if I can tell. So it's kind of cool. They have actual feathers on their little legs, and they have the feathers on the outside, not the inside of their legs. Just the outside of their legs have feathers. Very strange. I've never had a bird with some leg feathers on. But again, they're hybrids, so however they're breeding them for different qualities or different looks, I suppose. But that's what that is. So we're doing pretty good. All set. I have all this. I'll just pick up all this stuff when I bring them in. Have the cellar opened up so to kind of air things out. And then what I did over here, I had some, I took some older bedding that has been around for a while, a few years. It's more like a real soil, like a loam, like a nice garden soil. They're the pots in the further back. And then the pots in the front, I had taken that from the chicken coop, just kind of cleared away the sawdust and kind of got down to the soil. But it's not as refined as the actual soil back there. This one has more shavings in it. I still use it, and I still put some little seeds in there. We'll see how it goes. It's kind of an experiment, just because sometimes you see a plant is growing in a crack between cement, or it's growing outside of on top of a rock. Oftentimes you see stuff like that. So I think they'll still, even though there's a lot of sawdust in there, it's not totally broken down like soil like the other ones are. I think it might still come up, and when I see it coming up, then it'll be transplanted later into the earth on this side. But they just kind of put those in today, kind of experimented with it, just wondering, will that really take, because the girls have a lot of sawdust, as you can see. They have a lot of sawdust here. I usually always have the bedding that I recycle, like here. I think it's healthier to have the bedding, because you don't want them in mud. When it rains, it can get very muddy, but with the sawdust, you don't get that mud. So it's got a good layer of sawdust here, which they do dig around and find things, and they like to dig underneath the, along the fence wall. So I have to go every now and then and just fill in the holes that they're making. But they have, I think it's just healthier. It's healthier if you're going to have birds out. For me, I think having them on the bedding, older bedding, sawdust, is the better way to go, because mud is really bad. I think that's why sometimes your animals don't do well. They might have lice or things like that, or different little diseases, because oftentimes, mud or dampness, that's where a lot of bacteria likes to grow, so I think have things well aired out, have the coops well cleaned every day, and let them scratch around, but don't have them in mud, don't have them in the mud. Now, with chickens, believe it or not, both these sides, and even where that flag is down there, this whole area was covered in grass. It had a lot of grass, as you can probably see. Okay, so a lot of grass down there. So same thing over here, all grass. But when you have birds and they're going to be confined, they remove everything. They scratch everything out. So this just went to soil, and before it would get so muddy, I would add then the shavings to it. But when you're having hens, they just destroy everything. I don't care if it's creeping Charlie, grass. I don't care if you had flowers. I mean, they scrape everything. So they're wonderful to have. It'd be very easy now for me to convert any one of these little pens to a nice sized garden. If you wanted to plant, tall crops like corn and things or potatoes, things like that. So it'd be very well fertilized, and I have some really nice dark soil here, so it would be kind of cool for a garden. I don't have time for that big a thing. I keep my garden really small, just a few things I like to eat, during the summer. But they really are very good tillers. But yeah, they will. If I had them out back, all that grass that's growing out there now, it'd just be like this. It'd just be no vegetation at all. So they really go at it. But that's what you have with chickens. So, and I don't free range them because I don't want them traveling too far away. They'll always come back at night, but I don't want them all over the property. And I also want to keep them contained, safer for them. And then you don't want them to dig up everything. They'd be digging up everything, and you'd find poop everywhere. So we just keep them contained and keep them nice and healthy. So they're doing good. The little houses are working out really great. So that's not too bad. They're doing really good. So it's a beautiful day today. The weather really is nice, and just a beautiful day. The grass is turning more green, which is nice. Luna's on an adventure. He's not here right now, but he'll be coming back soon. He was here a couple days ago. But yeah, it's just kind of a beautiful day. Like I said, the only disadvantage right now is that you're getting those mayflies. I call them mayflies. They're the little black things. Right now, they can be annoying, but pretty soon, they don't last too long. I think they last about 3 weeks, I think. At least here, that's all they last. But then just before they're going to get ready to pass on, I guess, they will bite you, and they will want some nourishment out of your body. That's not so great. And then usually after these guys, will notice a few mosquitoes. We didn't have that many last year. I don't think we even had hardly any at all, like deer fly that you can get out when you're in the woods. You can get deer fly. I don't remember any of that last year. So I guess it goes in cycles too. I guess it's the weather and all that, and whatever their life cycles are, and if they ever have to hibernate and come back out later. I'm not sure. But anyways, enough of that gabbing. Enough of that gabbing, girls. Right? But then, let's see. Let's check the time, ladies, and see how much more. You've got about 10 more minutes, and then you're going to go in. I just was wondering what the temperature is when it's in the shade. I'm not sure if it seems so much warmer than that, but it could be, I suppose. I'm not sure how accurate that is. I think it's pretty accurate because it's close to the one in the house, only a couple degrees difference. Not too bad. Hey, dandelions are coming up. Those are good to just take a dandelion, take some leaves, and eat them up. They're very, very good and very healthy for you. A good detoxer, and it's good for your body. Okay, girls, so what do you think? We should say goodbye now? I think we've chatted long enough, right, girls? Okay, so we're going to clean this up in a few minutes, and then go in and then come back out for the ladies and put them away. Put them in their little houses, get the goats in there. Zach's working today, but he'll probably be home in a couple hours, I think. So we're doing good. Everything's working out good. Just a beautiful day. I spent most of my day outside today, believe it or not. Just did some raking back there, and just spent most of my day out here, which is great. Here comes the motorcycle. There he goes. There he goes. Cool. Having fun. Everybody, I think, is out today. It's beautiful. Okay, guys, so I hope you have a wonderful day. And these little buggers are having fun. Give them another 10 minutes and then put them in. I don't want them to be too tired, or I try to expose them to the outside gradually. Yeah, because they still, when I have them in the cellar, it's always a little bit cooler, so they still enjoy that light, the heat light. So pretty soon they won't need it, though. Once they're fully feathered, they shouldn't need it. And I think there's just one left, the one over here. This one down here. I'm waiting for that one because it's got some feathers. They call them the saddle feathers, saddleback feathers or something. They're not quite in yet, so, but they're doing good. So that's wonderful. We're getting there. We're getting there. So you guys have a wonderful, wonderful day. And thanks again for tuning in, watching my little crazy videos. I really do appreciate that. I really love sharing with you and showing you some things that I'm doing, and you know, I really enjoy doing that with you, and just bringing you along for my little tiny adventures and things that I'm doing. So I really do appreciate you viewing my videos, no doubt about that. So you all have a wonderful day, and I'll catch you up a little bit later. Okay, God bless. Thanks for everything. Bye now. Well, I put the babies to bed, so that was good. They're in there now. We'll take a little peek at them and see if they're underneath the heat lamp or not. The cellar is cool, so I'm going to, I thought maybe I wouldn't continue with the cardboard over their container, but I think I'm going to for another week. Because they say when they're little baby chicks, like a day or two old, they have to be like about 95-degree temperature. And every week you lower it. So if it's 95, 90, 85, 80. So right now they should be comfortable with 80 degrees. And when I check the where the light is on the bottom, it's 80 down there. So, and when you get away from the light to where they're eating in the container, it's more like a 60. So I think I'll just continue the cardboard maybe for another week. It's meant to hold the heat in and not have all the heat escape so fast. And when you take the cardboard off, you can feel a little bit of warmth coming up. So that's a good thing. So here's what it looks like when I'm done. I just raked up the sawdust that was in there and then wet it down really well. Hose it all down and clean the bottom grass, you know, so that anything that their droppings would be all gone. And be all set for tomorrow. If the weather's good tomorrow, we'll put them out here. And let's just take a look inside the cellar and see where they are. I'll just kind of be quiet. I won't talk in there. And I'm just going to see if I can put my phone near where their light is. You're not going to be able to see them that well, but we'll see if there's any like underneath the lamp. Okay, here we go. Okay, so that's kind of a good sign. There's only one big white one that's sitting like right underneath the lamp. I'm not sure if you could really tell by the camera, but if you saw some white with some black streaks, there's one bird there. Another bird a little bit, the head was more like towards the light, but the majority of them are still at the end of the container where the food is, and they are eating their food and having water, things like that. So it's only really like two that would be that close. I'm going to watch them today and tomorrow. If I find that they're getting more away from the circular heat lamp, then I'm going to take the cardboard off because I don't want it to get too warm in there. But right now, I'll kind of see. They did really well today. They were up almost an hour and a half, and now they're inside. So it's not like they're all huddled under the lamp. They're getting older now, so some are not going under the lamp. Like sometimes they do when I put them in from being outside. They all like to get around the lamp. So they're not doing that, and that's a good sign because they are a month old and they have a lot of feathers. So they're you know, after a few days they can regulate their body heat. But because they're in a cellar, and my cellar is cooler than it is out here, when you open the door in the morning, you step out, you can feel a difference between the cellar and out here. So I want to make sure that they are not cold. But for their age, they're supposed to be in like 80-degree weather. It was like 70, I guess it was 70 degrees today, but the sun can feel really hot. Sometimes I put the cloth over the top when they're out here so that the sun doesn't beat down on them, because sometimes the sun can be very, very hot. But so they should be about 80-degree weather, 70, but it's not too bad. They're moving around. They weren't cold out here, so keep an eye on them. But just wanted to let you see it's all nice and clean, ready for tomorrow, and they are inside and they're happy. Okay, guys, have a nice night. Bye.